Good morning friends, myself Dr. Nanda Kumar Lakshman Kadam, Head Department of Accountancy, Jaisingpur College, Jaisingpur. Today we will discuss one more unit in the Advanced Accountancy subject of BCom 3. The title of the subject is Working Capital. We will discuss here the meaning, significance of working capital as well as how to calculate the working capital requirement. This is our the portion that we have to cover in this session. Now we will see what is meant by working capital. There are two concepts in working capital. One is gross working capital. One is gross working capital. Gross working capital means total current assets. The amount invested in total current asset is gross working capital. And the second concept is net working capital. Net working capital means current assets minus current liabilities, or you can say excess of current assets over current liabilities. There are two types of working capital. First we have seen the concepts, gross working capital and net working capital. Now we will discuss types of working capital. There are two types of working capital. One is permanent working capital and second is temporary working capital. Every business organization requires both types of working capital. It means permanent working capital as well as temporary working capital. Now we will see what is meant by permanent working capital. Permanent working capital is that amount of working capital which is very much required for continuation of the day-to-day operations of the business. If this amount is not available, it is not possible to continue the business. So it is very much requirement of the business to continue the business, to continue the day-to-day operations of the business. Without permanent working capital, it is not possible to continue the business or carry on the process of the business activities of the business. This amount is permanently locked in the business. So generally, this amount is financed from the long-term sources. Financed from the long-term sources. This amount of working capital is not returned to the investors because it is totally locked till the closure of the business. Okay, so this capital is invested from the long-term sources. The amount of such working capital is depend upon the nature of the business, size of the business, okay, process of the production. So we have to consider this nature of the business, size of the business to fix the permanent amount of capital. So in general we can say the amount which is very much required and which is totally locked in current assets of the business organization is called as permanent working capital. Next we will see what is meant by temporary working capital. The amount of working capital which fluctuates from time to time as per the requirement of the business, as per the business activities, as per the volume. It is called as temporary working capital. So the amount which is changing every time, the amount which fluctuates every time according to the business activities, according to the season you may say, that is called as temporary working capital. It represents additional current assets required at different times during the accounting year. So if there is season, if there is boom, it will require more. Such type of working capital will require more. In the case of depression or in the case of off season, it will require less amount. So it changes according to the time. So it is called as temporary working capital. And generally this type of working capital is financed from short-term sources and it is returned during the year. So permanent working capital is the amount of capital which is fixed, which will definitely retain in the business, which will definitely remain in the business, and temporary working capital is the amount of working capital which changes according to the time, according to the business activities. Okay, these are the two types of working capital. Then we will see what is the significance of the working capital. You know, working capital is day-to-day requirement of the business. It means it is a lifeblood of the business. Without the lifeblood, just a human being cannot be alive. In the same way, without working capital, the business will not be alive. It is required for day-to-day operations of the business. Okay? So it is very much essential, even for the utilization of fixed assets. If you are having no working capital, then you cannot use your fixed assets fully. You cannot use your fixed assets fully. Besides, if you are having sufficient working capital, then you will establish your credit, your reputation, your goodwill in the market. Business can enjoy the cash discount because you are having sufficient working capital. You can pay the amount of creditors or bills payables in time, so they will ready to give you cash discount. So because of working capital, the sufficient amount of working capital, the business organization may enjoy the amount of cash discount. Besides, if you are having sufficient amount of working capital, it will helpful to you. It will helpful to management of the business to survive in the crisis, in the difficult period. If there is any difficulty, but if you are having sufficient amount of working capital, then you can survive from this crisis. Besides, it will help also in the case of emergencies. If you are not having sufficient amount of working capital, then you may fail. You may come in difficulty in the case of emergencies. But if you are having sufficient amount of working capital, then you can fight. You can survive in the case of emergencies also. The working capital shows your short-term solvency. The working capital shows the short-term solvency of the business, liquidity of the business. Inadequacy of working capital may lead to the huge losses or bankruptcy. Because without working capital, it is not possible to carry on day-to-day operations of the business. Automatically, insufficient amount of working capital will lead to the huge losses or may lead to the bankruptcy that we call as insolvency. Then we will come to the next part, that is estimation of working capital requirement. Estimation of working capital requirement. How to estimate the working capital requirement? First, we have to take into consideration 2 points. One is that working capital requirement depends upon the size of the business, the nature of the business, manufacturing process or production policy, credit availables, velocity of turnover. It means that so many factors that we have to consider while estimating the requirement of working capital. Okay. Next point that should be considered is it is also necessary to consider available sources of finance. Which sources are available for us for this working capital? There are 2 types of sources. One is long-term sources and second is short-term sources. Long-term sources means the business organization, the company can issue shares or debentures, or the business organization may take loan from the bank. These are called as long-term sources. It will be used for financing the working capital. Okay. Second is short-term sources, that is credit available from suppliers or advances from customers, or you can take bank overdraft from the banks. Short-term loans. These are the short-term sources for the financing the working capital. So 2 points are essential to consider. One is the amount of working capital, the requirement of working capital depends upon the size, the nature, manufacturing process, then credit policy, production policy, all these factors that we have to consider. This is one thing. Second thing is that what are the sources available for the financing working capital? 2 sources. One is long-term sources, that is issue of shares or issue of debentures or taking long-term loans. And short-term sources are credit available from suppliers, advances from customers, as well as the bank overdrafts or discounts or endowments of the bills. purpose of financing the working capital. Okay. Then how to calculate practically the working capital requirement? There are four steps in the process of calculation of working capital requirement. The first step is estimate the amount of various current assets. You know the working capital that we have taken the meaning of the working capital, that is current assets minus current liabilities. So first we have to estimate the amount of current assets. Second, estimate the amount of current liabilities. Because we have to deduct the amount of current liabilities from the current assets, then we will get the amount of working capital. So estimate the amount of current liabilities. Third, find out the working capital. How it will be found? How it will be calculated? 1. Current assets, total current assets minus total current liabilities. Just by deducting total of current liabilities from the total of current assets, we will get the working capital. But sometimes it requires some additional amount for contingencies, for emergencies. So add the amount of emergency, amount required for emergencies or contingencies, then you will get the final amount of working capital requirement. So I repeat 4 steps. 1. Estimate the total current assets, each and every current assets, and make out the total. Second, estimate each and every current liability and make out the total. Third, total of liabilities, total of current liabilities will be deducted from total current assets, and then add the required amount for contingencies or emergencies. You will get the total amount of working capital requirement. The next point that is to be considered, that common considerations for calculation of working capital requirement. Okay. 3 considerations are required while calculating the amount of working capital requirement. Generally, the amount of stock, debtors, creditors and outstanding wages are to be calculated. 4 items generally, in general, and it is not permanent, it is not compulsory. Generally it happens that 1. Stock, 2. Debtors, 3. Creditors and outstanding wages, outstanding labor are generally calculated, generally estimated. Other current assets, just as cash and bank balance, prepaid expenses or any other current assets may be directly given in the problem. Okay. In the same way, other liabilities, other current liabilities, say for example bills payables. Okay. So pre-received income, all these are directly given in the problem. Generally we have to estimate 4 items: stock, debtors, creditors and outstanding wages. Okay, these are the 4 items that we have to focus. Sometimes you will be provided the cost sheet or the cost sheet showing the cost per unit, total cost sheet or cost sheet showing cost per unit. Okay, at such time, how to calculate the stock of work in progress and stock of finished goods? That will be the question, because stock includes 3 types of stock. 1 is stock of raw material, 2nd is stock of work in progress, and 3rd is stock of finished goods. Stock of raw materials can be easily calculated because the amount is readily available. But in the case of stock of work in progress, the stock which is locked in the process, which is in process, the process is continued. So we have to value such a work in progress. How to calculate this work in progress amount? Generally, the amount of raw material used is taken 100%. The amount of raw material taken is 100%, and the amount of labor and overheads are taken 50%. There is difference of opinions. There is difference of opinions. Some authors have taken 50% of raw material, 50% of labor, 50% of overheads. But generally it is accepted that raw material should be taken at 100% and labor and overheads are to be taken at 50%. Okay, and then you have to calculate accordingly the amount of working capital locked in stock of work in progress. Okay, and then while calculating the closing stock of finished goods or the amount locked in debtors, okay, debtors and closing stock of finished goods, while calculating these two items, you have to take into consideration total cost. You have to take into consideration total cost and not the selling price. I repeat, while calculating the closing stock of finished goods and debtors, you have to use the total cost and not the selling price, not the selling price. Okay, these three considerations are essential. Okay, I repeat, one, generally we have to calculate stock, debtors, creditors and wages. Second is that other current assets and other current liabilities are directly given in the problem. Next, when you will be provided cost sheet or cost sheet showing cost per unit at such time, while calculating the stock of work in progress, consider the raw material 100% and labor and overheads 50%. And in the case of calculation of closing stock of finished goods and debtors, consider the total cost and not the selling price. Okay, this is very much important for calculation of working capital. So what is the formula for calculation of assets, current assets or current liabilities? All the required maybe current assets, maybe current liabilities may be calculated by using only one formula, that budgeted amount for the year, divided by 12 or 52 or 360 into period of lock or period of credit or period of lag in payment. Okay, so what is the formula? Budgeted amount for the year divided by 12 divided by 52 either or 360 into period of lock or period of credit or lag in payment. Okay, now there is a question when to use 12, when to use 52 or when to use 360. If the period is expressed in the form of months, if the period is given in the form of months, then divide by 12. If the period is given in weeks, then divide by 52. Okay, and if the period is given in days, instead of 365, generally it is divided by 360. Okay, instead of 365, though the days of year are 365, but generally it is accepted to divide by 360. So it depends upon the information given in the problem. If it is expressed in the form of month, divide by 12, in the form of weeks, divide by 52, in the form of days, divide by 360. Okay, accordingly we have to take into consideration the period of lock in months. When you divide by 12, you have to consider the period of lock also in months. When you divide by 52, even the period of lock or credit or lagging payment, you have to take into weeks. So it should be matched. Okay, month to month, weeks to weeks or days to days. Okay, very clear.